What's up, gamers? Welcome back to the Iron Maxcape Speedrun Moral Percent, the old school Runescape speedrun where I click the game real fast and try to set a record for the fastest Maxcape achieved on an Iron account without the use of immoral methods like ults, boosting, scouting, or interacting with another account unless it's necessary to complete the content. Last episode, Moral Queen got a Dragon Defender, killed a vampire and made someone insecure because I said daddy instead of father when I completed Vampire Slayer 3, and then started stealing from Saradominist graves in the Hallowed Sepulchre. And that's where we are now. I think Hallowed Sepulchre is probably my favorite content, like out of all of it. It's genuinely great. It's better than any raid or any other skilling method. Mod Huskies somehow managed to find the perfect balance between being focused and varied enough to be interesting and keep you interested, while also being AFK enough to do a ton of zero-time skills and watch YouTube or whatever. Also, it's so OP, you make so much money, and the XP rates are so high it feels so rewarding to grind out. So I got here with 62 agility from Barbarian Fishing, which means I only have access to the first 2 floors for now, and even that is still like 40k XP per hour, even with the looting. The loot on the first 2 floors is pretty trash compared to the rest of the floors, but if you're like me and you finish the Papa Sin's quest with like 12 GP to your name, it's incredibly worth it. And because I took the time a few episodes ago to collect Vampire Dust, I also get 200 Prayer XP a couple of times a run from looting, and 300 Construction XP from building the bridge traps. Love this place. In the future, I don't loot the first 2 floors, but for now they're a godsend, and I'm starting to finally be rich again. If you've never done Sepulchre before, you probably think it's super difficult. At least I did when it first came out. I think I got to like the end of floor 3 and teleported out on my old main account because I got so frustrated and then didn't come back for like a year or 2. But when I finally did come back, armed with tile indicators and real game knowledge from my UIM, it clicked, and I've loved it ever since. The first 2 floors do a pretty good job of teaching you how the other 3 floors work, and if you're brave, you figure out pretty quickly how to run a lot further than you think you can between traps. Most of the time in here I was making headless arrows for broad arrows in the future, but I did a little bit of alching sometimes with rune bolts or blood runes from the coffins to help boost my magic and GP stack a bit. I don't alch the blood runes forever, they're important for later, but I have a lot of blood runes coming my way in the future, so GP is a little bit more important right now. I got 70 fletching while recharging the crystal saw I used to boost for the construction traps, 55 construction from those traps. I bought the hallowed ring, got scammed the level up message for 71 agility, ran out of oak planks, and went to the Remington House portal to 3-tick some oak trees for my butler to take to the sawmill with the GP I made from the vampire graveyard. Once I had stacked up enough planks, I went back to the Sepulchre and got 56 prayer, 71 fletching, and 72 agility, which finally unlocked the 3rd floor. From here on, we don't loot the coffins on the 1st floor unless I forget and do it by habit. And I only loot on floor 2 and floor 3 to ride the line between good XP and a decent amount of loot to help me progress. I still bring in planks to fix the bridge on the floor 1 trap because it's a lot of zero-time construction XP, but I just go on to the next floor after fixing it. Floor 3 has another vampire ash thingy, so I've unlocked even more prayer XP per run and bumped the agility XP up to around 57k per hour with looting on 2 floors. I love this place, it's amazing. After 57 construction, 58 prayer, and 78 agility, I wanted to vary things up a little bit, so I left the sepulchre and ran south to the Dale mines. Dale Essence is actually super important to the run, not only because it gives 155% experience at the ZMI altar, but because it's the only guaranteed method of getting Essence that doesn't rely on PVM. Sure, you get a little bit through Slayer, and you could do Guardians of the Rift to 99, but ZMI is much faster, and it makes a lot more money, and you won't get enough pure Essence from 99 Slayer if you want a Maxcape. The method you're seeing me do here is 1.5 tick. It's basically the same thing I did on Shooting Stars earlier in the run. Pretty much, we start a normal 3-tick cycle, walk one tile, and click the Dale over and over to trick the game into rolling the success chance twice every 3 ticks instead of once. Double XP, double Essence, it's easy. I won't be doing all of my Essence at once, as almost any method is going to be interrupted by herb and birdhouse runs, so I can switch back and forth whenever I want to do something I don't have to think about. It's pretty nice. After around 15,000 Essence, I went back to the Hallowed Sepulchre for more floor 3 runs to build up the GP even further. With 59 prayer, 58 construction, and both 81 and 82 agility, which took 804 runs, we got access to floor 4, which means our earning potential and XP per hour are about to get even higher. A new floor means a new looting strategy, of course, so now we build the bridge on floor 1 without looting, get the prayer XP from the braziers on floor 2 without looting, and loot everything on floor 3 and 4. Floor 4 also unlocks a guaranteed prayer obstacle at the end of the floor, which means an extra 200 prayer XP per run for free. Now that we have one of the best money makers unlocked, I want to do it a lot, right? If I had my way, I'd just stay here till 99, but I need things to 0 time during it, and the options are pretty limited right now because I haven't stacked up too much useful stuff. So I need to do some grinds that progress me to more things that I can actually do during Sepulchre and other activities, but the route to those needs money to be spent, and a lot of time doing things that don't seem to relate to it. Basically, I'm in that cyclical Ironman thing where I need to do the content to make money and progress the account, but I need to make money and progress the account to do the content efficiently. So I stayed at Sepulchre until I got 60 prayer, got 72 strength and 82 farming on Hespori, and made my way through Mauritania to do the easy diary. I finished Haunted Mine in Tarn's Lair, then made an upgraded Salve amulet. I got a Mark of Grace in Canifis, and then minigame teleported to Trouble Brewing to finish the last task of the medium diary. At first, I was kind of annoyed that I was being forced to do nothing. You have to empty your inventory before you come in, so you can't fletch or alch, but I was determined to figure something out while I was here, so I started running around and got lucky pretty fast. So you can pick up these monkeys on an island in the middle, and it gives you 15 agility XP. And then when you put it down on the floor again, it stands next to you for a few seconds before it runs away. But if you pick it up quick enough, you get 15 XP. So Troubled Brewing is like 20k agility XP per hour now. You're so welcome. So I picked up a monkey 440 times, finished the Mauritania medium diary, cashed in the PvP arena points I got a few episodes ago, and imbued my black mask. And with the fact that we have an actually useful amount of money now, it's time to get back to Slayer. Use up all the bloods and deaths we got from Sepulchre already, use the GP to keep going, with the aim being to finally complete the first goal on the account that I've been talking about since episode 1, 100 combat. I'll put the task list on screen that I'm using. It's from the Ironman Skilling Discord, which is very easy to Google. But Slayer at this level is pretty simple for me. first real task I got was Aberrant Spectres, which are pretty cool. We get a lot of Herblore XP and a few Alks from them, and they aren't awful to kill, so we Prayer Flick, use Specs as many times as my ADHD will let me remember to, and pick up the herbs and seeds when they happen. However, Melee Slayer is always going to be slower than the alternative, and we want to get tasks like this over with as fast as possible, so we use Expeditious Bracelets to speed up the tasks a bit. I started out by training defense, which I wouldn't normally do, as most of my defense XP is going to come from defensive casting Barrage Slayer, but I want to push to 65 defense to do King's Ransom and unlock Chivalry as soon as possible. With Prayer Flicking and a huge supply of prayer pots from Herblore and Sepulchre already in the bank, Chivalry and Piety when I get 70 prayer are basically free to use forever. And they give a huge amount of max hits over what I have right now, so it's a good thing to push them early. Those Aberrant Spectres got me 61 defense and 62 Slayer, and then Neve sent me over to Karen to kill some Anku. I used to get kind of annoyed with Anku tasks on other accounts, but that was before I knew the joy of using Ancient Magics for basically as many tasks as you can. We use Expeditious Bracelets to make the task a little bit faster because it isn't amazing, but you kill Ankus quickly enough that you can even log out between stacks before they respawn. It's incredibly chill. After that, we moved over to another room in the Catacombs for a Dagonoth task, which is yet another Expeditious Bracelet Barrage task, except this one's a little bit more awkward. So normally, you stack things to barrage by running over a single tile over and over until all the mobs you have aggroed on you are on one tile. But that really only works if they're 1 by 1, but in the Dagonoth rooms you have the little ones that are 1 by 1 and the big ones that are 2 by 2, so they aren't as friendly to your running back and forth methods. The easiest way I can describe it is this. You freeze one of the big ones, run under its southwest tile, then run around that frozen one through the southwest tile of the others surrounding it without walking away from the original frozen Dagonoth, and then run back through to pull the other ones underneath into the range of your spell. It's a little weird, and it's kind of annoying sometimes, but it's still very fast and it's fine once you figure out your tempo with it. Those Dagonoths got me 62 defense and 81 magic. And then the Slayer Lady sent me off to the Desert Cave for some cow fights. This is one of the few tasks that make me regret being an iron and not having cannonballs, but at the very least, they die pretty quickly. We use Expeditious Bracelets and hack away with the Dragon Skimmy to get 63 defense. We're back at the Dagonoths again. We got 72 hit points, 88 combat, and 63 Slayer. Killed a few baby blue dragons for 64 and 65 defense. Then went to Camelot to play Phoenix Wright and complete King's Ransom. We bought a dragon mace and a battle axe, then went upstairs to kill some knights to prove I'm religious or something. With our first real Slayer grind about to be really in full swing, I hopped over to a PvP world to turn all the teak logs I had from Miscellanea into planks to get some important time-saving items on the account. PvP plank making is kind of boring, but it's super fast. You just have House and Camelot teleports in your inventory, and GB to pay for planks of course. Teleport to your house, call your butler, send him to the sawmill with your logs, and bank at Camelot to get more. If you've seen an Iron series on YouTube, you've probably seen this. I didn't have quite enough logs for the level I wanted, so I went to Fossil Island to 1.5 ticks and teaks to finish up the stack. Those teak planks got me to 64 construction with tables, which I boosted with a crystal saw to make a mahogany eagle lectern, so I could make myself a big pile of house tabs to get around while I'm not on the normal spellbook. I got a PB on Hespori, got 64 Slayer and 73 hit points, there's no way. Then just had the worst task streak I've ever seen from Neve, which made me give up and decide to Tutorial and Konar boost up to 50 tasks to make my life easier and the grind faster. For the uninitiated, you do 9 tasks at the lowest level Slayer Master, and 1 task at the highest level of Master you can use. Mostly involves a lot of killing low-level monsters that die in a couple of hits, but you build up the points really quickly so you can keep unlocking and skipping things as much as you like. My 30th task was Aberrant Spectres in the Slayer Tower, which means more Expeditious Bracelets and Herblore XP. I got my first and second superior monsters here with no insane RNG sadly, as well as 75 strength. My 40th task was Calphite, which was over pretty quick, and my 50th was my first ever Dust Devils task, which is just so nice to see. Now annoyingly I hadn't extended them yet, so the task wasn't as big as it could have been, but with Bracelets of Slaughter it's still a huge task. I didn't do this first one as efficiently as I could. I wasn't stacking them while I lured them, but it was late and I was mostly just excited to be doing good Slayer tasks again, so we'll do better in the future. It's still very satisfying. Especially with the Dragon Halberd, they die so fast. I got 67 defense, 63 range, 66 Slayer, and 82 magic from those Dust Devils, then went off for my first Bloodveld task. Like any melee Slayer task, we put on the Expeditious Bracelets and slap away at them while we prayer flick. I was using alt side to have a couple of them spinning around and stacking them so I could barrage them, and it's possible it's worth doing solo with barrage, but I haven't figured that method out yet, and I don't want to do it with the lower freeze time you get from Ice Burst. Those Bloodvelds got me to 76 strength before the task is over, and then I took a bit of a diversion down to Shiloh Village to retick some gem rocks to make a few more Slayer bracelets. After that was done, we got sent to the Worms, which are basically big snake-shaped Bloodvelds, which we prayer flick using Expeditious Bracelets and hit with a D-Skim. Maybe you're seeing a pattern here. The only difference is the superiors actually have mechanics, unlike the Bloodveld superiors, so you have to do a little backstepping if you want long trips without restocking on food. I got 77 strength on some more Bloodvelds in the Darkmeyer basement. Got enough herbs to finish 72 Herblore, and then took another diversion. First up, we went to Relica to get 10 Marks of Grace, which I traded for an Amylase pack, and then went over to Edgeville to do the biggest time waste in the entire run. Now I know I'm gonna get the levels at some point, and it's a waste of time to boost, or blah blah, whatever, I know, I understand. But the stamina pool is such a huge time save over what I'm doing right now, running through Ferox Enclave every time I want run energy in a bank, so as soon as it was possible I made it happen. 36 attempts later, maybe my worst stew luck ever, I was able to start making stamina potions. I used the logout method to keep my boost while I made my way to Ferox to get more super energies from the bank, and ended up making all 25 stamina pots I could with the Amylase I bought. The Crystal Saw let me boost to make teak shelves, which let me make tea that gives me another +3 boost on top of that, which meant I could build a superior garden, a restoration pool, and finally upgrade it to a stamina pool. Couple that with the Sepulchre teleport crystals I spent my hallowed marks on, and we were never more than a few ticks away from 100% run energy and a bank. It's so nice. With that huge hurdle finally complete, I went back to the underground to mine some Dayalt Essence, and that's where I'm going to leave you for this episode. I'll put my stats and bank on screen for you to see where I'm at so far. This one was a little bit longer than usual, so let me know if that's a good thing or not. If you did like it, hey, you should subscribe and like and tell all your friends to buy billboards advertising my channel. Or not, it's your call. Next episode, we're pushing even further into the Slayer grind to try and unlock some of the big endgame grinds for later in the run. Maybe I'll see you there. Bye.